What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Footy Fetish podcast with myself, Alfie. Ollie, say hello.
Yo, yo, yo.
And Big H Brizzle, say hello.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
And that's Harry, if you don't know, by the way, H Brizzle, just for everyone listening.
If you don't know, now you know.
They know. They know.
How are you guys doing today? All good?
Good, mate. Tired.
Very well. Very well.
Good.
I'm always tired.
It's no Mark today, I should point out. He's got
God.
other stuff going on. I know, what a break, eh?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's actually I would have rather got him on if Liverpool had lost last night.
Yeah.
But I guess that's a good place to start. We'll cover some Champions League news. Let's start with Liverpool Milan. We watched it, Ollie.
We did.
Harry, did you catch it at all, or
I was working, but I had it on, so it was fairly
Nice.
quiet. So I got to see most of it. I got to see all the goals and stuff.
it was actually a crazy match from what we saw. But obviously Liverpool starting incredibly well, looking so strong, going forward and just dominating the game. Obviously going in that goal again, Trent. Well, it was a Tomori own goal, I guess it was, but made by Trent Alexander-Arnold with a great run. Obviously big talking point, Mo Salah missing a penalty, boys.
Huge.
It was a terrible penalty, really soft, but yeah, and then I don't know what happened, but just everything shifted. The whole balance of the game shifted. Milan really started to come into it, started putting together some nice plays, and obviously was it Rebic? Yeah, Rebic got the goal. It was a lovely first time finish from Rebic, and the through ball. I can't remember who put the through ball through, but it was beautiful, splitting the defence open. But and then DL scrappy second goal for Milan. I don't know, did you guys see
the
it?
counter attack was brilliant. I thought
It was.
Yeah.
It was wicked.
I was really unlucky
yeah.
for Robertson, but
Yeah, it just had no one backing him up, unfortunately, to stop it from them putting it in for the the rebound, I guess, the second.
Yeah.
And then obviously then man like Jordan Henderson got the winner, his first Champions League goal since 2014. Must be feeling pretty good about himself. It's very Stevie G of him to hit it from outside the box like that.
that's a beauty.
So,
Absolute beauty.
It was fantastic. It was a great game. Obviously, you see, it was the first time that these two had met in a European competition that wasn't a final.
Blimey.
That's a great stat.
It's the first time AC have been back in the Champions League in 7 years or something.
Yeah, crazy. But it's good to see them back, man, and good to have Liverpool versus Milan. It's always a fun game because of the history in that. But what did you guys make of Liverpool?
They were
in this
really
game?
strong the first 15 minutes. I think they had 13 shots in the first 15 minutes, and then one shot in the remaining half an hour of that first half. They started so strong, but they just obviously finished very badly. But yeah, that penalty miss from Mo Salah was pretty crucial for them in the end. I think I said to Alf as the equaliser went in, I said imagine if Salah would have scored that goal, that would have made this game a bit different. And then a minute later they score another. I said to Alf and I went, I'm not gonna lie, I'm just gonna repeat exactly what I said a minute ago. This game would have been so different if Mo Salah had scored.
They got the third, but it was ruled offside, so it could have been even crazier for Milan.
Yeah, it was just at the start of the second half, wasn't it?
Yeah. They came out guns blazing again in the second half, but I think obviously Liverpool. It's a tough game to play. It is at Anfield, obviously. I think that's what got Liverpool through it.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think if this was in Milan, at the San Siro, I don't see Liverpool winning it. It'd be hard to come back, but when you've got that crowd backing you, you can get it gets you back into the game and that kind of thing. I don't think Liverpool fans should be too worried. Obviously, they got the win. They did look a bit lackadaisical, I guess, at times, but it's the Champions League, isn't it? This is where stuff happens. They got absolutely destroyed by Barcelona, didn't they, in their first leg when they won it that year, and then came back and smashed it. So it is what it is. But
I think they're still, to an extent, finding themselves again after last season. Now they got almost all their first team back. You forget how good they actually can be on the day. It's just the lack of depth that's still the overriding worry.
That's it. Yeah, no, they we put them fourth, and I think you can argue that if they've got a fully fit first team, that it still could be the best first team in the Premier League. It's just after that, it's a serious drop off, isn't it, in talent?
Yeah.
Which could really come back to hurt them.
They've not
I
got
think
that squad
especially-
depth like the rest of the top three,
No,
like City,
exactly.
United, and Chelsea.
Even Man United have a better bench than Liverpool do right now.
Yeah.
Unless it's the Champions League, because Origi seems to only play well in the Champions League.
He seems to only play in the Champions League.
Yeah,
He doesn't
true.
play in the Prem.
True.
Not a bad life.
No, actually, no. It's not collecting that paycheck every week must be quite nice. But another team in the English lot that played really well last night was Man City. Obviously, a 9-goal thriller, 6-3 it was in the end. Obviously, Jack Grealish getting his first goal, Champions League goal. And what a goal it was! Absolute beauty from the edge of the box, curling it in.
Yeah.
But it was weird. It was like City never really looked like they were going to lose it, but Leipzig kept coming back. Like City just couldn't stop them from getting a goal back every now and then, even though it never really looked like they were going to threaten to actually go on and win it. And obviously, is it Nkunku?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a hat trick. Actually, some really good goals. Obviously, João Cancelo scored an absolute rocket to make it 5-3 and was instrumental throughout the entire game.
Yeah. He's really stepped it up this season, I think.
I was about to ask, you guys surprised that Cancelo's taken this league? Because obviously he's the right wing back. Now you've got to be thinking, well, is Kyle Walker even going to get a look in at the moment? Because Cancelo is going forward. He's just so good at the moment.
Yeah. I think he should. Obviously, he's got age on his side compared to Kyle Walker. He's just got to play himself into that position, and unfortunately, if it's going to have to mean that Kyle Walker's going to have to step aside, then it's going to have to happen at some point. He's early 30s now, Kyle Walker. He's not exactly on the young side. Not to say that he's like bad at all, but I think Cancelo's really got to sort of put his mark on that City team and show Pep why he deserves to be starting.
Cancelo's 27 now, so he's going to want to be like getting into the prime of his career right now, and he's going to want to be starting.
He's got enough experience now. He's got enough minutes. But he's still young enough that he's still got obviously like the agility and everything on his side. So I'm excited to see what he can do.
Obviously, we also saw Chelsea get a narrow 1-0 win against, I can't remember who they played. Who did they play?
Who did Chelsea play?
It's just gone from my head. I literally just had it, and now it's just disappeared. Was it Zenit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Zenit.
They beat Zenit 1-0, didn't they?
Yeah.
And obviously Man United getting the loss to Young Boys. I just want to pose a question. Out of the English teams right now, from what we've seen after game week 1 of the Champions League, who would you back out of the 4 teams to be the strongest going into the into the latter stage of the Champions League?
Just judging by the games that have been played so far, City.
It's their bogey tournament, though, isn't it?
No.
That's what I was thinking, but I obviously said yesterday. No, carry on.
I think I would still say Chelsea. Because from what I saw of the game last night, even though they only won 1-0, like it was pretty much them controlling. I mean, it was. You can't really compare Zenit to like Bayern or someone you're going to meet in the later stages of the tournament, but they just got the job done. That's a good way to start off. Obviously, nervous, defending your title, but obviously they've been playing so well in the league, and they can easily turn that on at any moment in the Champions League.
Absolutely. I think I want to get your opinion on this before we talk about PSG, because it's fucking hilarious what happened to PSG the other night. But do you think it's crazy to say that we have the 4 best teams in Europe?
No. I don't think it's that
There's
crazy.
definitely an argument to be made.
Look at the top 4 in England, your City, Chelsea, United, and Liverpool. I think we potentially have the 4 best teams in all of world football basically right now. I would take on the days I know Man United might be the outlier in this, obviously, but they got Ronaldo now. Like if you put their team on paper and that, I think I would I could back any of them top 4 against any rest of the team in the world, and
I think the only teams you could say could challenge them with every player in the game would be PSG and Bayern.
Yeah.
If everyone in their squad is playing to their maximum. But
That's
I
the
don't
thing.
buy it.
yeah,
Yeah, the PSG. We're about to
well, they got
move on to
Pochettino,
it,
haven't they?
but
They could add Haaland, they could add Trent, they could add De Bruyne to this already amazing team. They could add Van Dijk as well, and they would still be shit.
yeah,
It's just they have no. There's nothing about that team, and we'll get onto. We might as well get into them because they drew 1-1 with Club Brugge.
come on, the boys.
Like, it's insane. They've done a cheat code on football, and they still can't get it done.
Literally.
It's insane. Like I just, they're so tin pot, even though they're like one of the biggest teams in the world. And you know they're tin pot because every fucking American supports PSG right now.
Well,
So
they
you know
weren't
that.
good until 10 years ago as well.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
they're sponsored by Jordan, and they've got some of the most famous players in their squad. So
Yeah.
the Americans obviously absolutely love it.
It's just they're just such a plastic team that I just can't see. Like I just can't see them winning it.
No,
I really
at all.
can't. If they're going to come up against like a team that's got a bit about them, a bit of grit or something, about if it's like because you know what we saw last year and seen in previous years. As soon as things don't go the way that PSG want it to go, they throw all their toys out the pram and they just lose their heads, and
Yeah,
all
spend
their
even
bottle goes. All their
Spend
bottle
even
goes.
more on the transfer window the next time.
Yeah, and you can't teach. That's not something that you can like teach to a team. Do you know what I mean? To not like it's something that you know is in you. You know, you need that leadership, that kind of. But they just don't have it, man.
Not at all.
Uh,
We just have a little comment, by the way, a little message in the chat from the Rap Kid 001. How's everyone doing? I'm good.
A-okay, my
I'm
man.
good.
A-okay.
How are you? That's a more important question. How are you?
I'm still riding this 3-0 Tottenham win. Like I'm riding it all the way until kick-off of the
The end of the
Liverpool game.
season.
Yeah, literally, I'm just yeah until that whistle blows for the Liverpool game at 3 o'clock on Saturday. I'm riding high still, so real good. But briefly, just before we move on, Real Madrid obviously got a late winner against Inter Milan. It was Inter was so unlucky not to get anything from that game. Courtois was just on his just in his bag basically, just pulling out shots from pulling out saves from everywhere. And then it was Rodrigo that got the late winner. But mate, Real Madrid, they don't look very confident as well, to be honest.
Oh, the Rap Kid is an Inter fan, but he's also into cricket.
Oh well, I'm just literally spoken. Yeah, you guys were unlucky not to get something out of last night's game.
100%.
Yeah, it was Lautaro Martinez looks like a hell of a player. I haven't seen. I know that's not exactly like the most outrageous take to say. I think, but I haven't watched much of him, and he did look really good yesterday. But does Alexis Sanchez still play for him?
I think
I
so.
think so, yeah. I haven't heard he's gone anywhere.
Uh,
Are you a
let's
Tottenham fan? No. I'm an
He
Arsenal
was on the
fan.
bench. Sanchez was on the bench.
I'm an Arsenal fan, Alf's a Crystal Palace fan, and Harry supports the mighty Reading FC.
He was.
So, actually, talking about Reading, Harry, do you know who the most productive player across all 92 clubs in the EFL are? Who has the most league
Yes.
goal involvements out of
I
everyone?
saw it. I saw it in your
Premier League?
notes.
That man, John Swift,
Big John Swift.
number 10 for the Royals. Like he scored an
God.
absolute. He's just a free kick. Like James Ward-Prowse, eat your heart out, lad. You ain't got John Swift's free kick taking abilities. But yeah, Harry, I just saw it come up earlier. I was like, that's a fantastic stat to have.
We'd easily be bottom if it wasn't for him.
Yeah.
That's why I was saying last season. I think we would have challenged for promotion if he'd have been fit the whole season.
So he played 14 games last season, which is crazy.
Yeah, and even those you could see how important it is to the way we play. Because there were times like when he was injured. Obviously, at least they'd been 19 years old, having to do pretty much all the creative work in the middle. Well, we had two D mids sitting behind him. If we'd have had at least they and Swift both playing, then it wouldn't have been so much of a problem. But
Yeah.
ultimately, good thing we didn't go up because we'd have been absolutely slaughtered by now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be pretty bad.
Got a
But
couple
you got
of more messages in the chat, sorry. Lautaro puts in a harder shift than any forward I've ever seen. We have another message from Weighty96 saying, "You are Z."
Oh, there you go. You was. Who you was?
The Rap Kid 001 says, "Arsenal fan, do you mind if I asked your opinion on AFTV?" Yes, I absolutely hate them. I think they're a disgrace. They do not represent our club. That's why when they used to be called Arsenal Fan TV, they're now called AFTV because Arsenal want nothing to do with them and try to take them to court. So they changed their name from Arsenal Fan TV to AFTV.
I think it should have been the other way around. I mean, AFTV have been a much more successful organisation than Arsenal have the last few years.
Very true.
Exactly.
I like fan TV stuff. I think it's great.
Don't at all.
I love it. I think it's necessary.
Yeah, we have just had a little follow from the Rap Kid as well, so thank you very much.
Oh,
Little Mo Farah sign.
Embarrassing.
The Pringle Mar has also said not quite as shit as Forest. I think it was talking about Reading.
Yes, that's very true. Forest are absolutely stink at the moment, and they got Chris Hughton in charge, where you think, you know, good record, like
Sacked.
reliable manager, but yeah, they bottled it against Cardiff the other day as well.
Yeah.
Did you see he's been sacked, Age?
I did not see that.
Yeah, he's been sacked. He got sacked this morning.
Wow, yeah, fair enough, really.
Yeah.
AFTV sucks though. It does. You're very much right, the Rap Kid.
Oh yeah, the people on there are absolutely awful, but it's funny.
Yeah, they're basically the reason I'd say they're a very strong reason as to why we've become such a meme club, a meme of a club. Like they don't help the situation.
Oh yeah,
Obviously,
you've done it to yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I know that the way that we play football does not help at all, but I think every single time there's an Arsenal game, there's always some sort of meme going on about the about sort of something after the game saying, oh, one of them's had a massive rant afterwards and made an absolute mockery of himself, and everyone just thinks of Arsenal Fan TV or AFTV as, oh, this is what all Arsenal fans think, and it couldn't be further from the truth. I think they're very terrible people, in all honesty. He has also, Rap Kid has also said, nice YouTube channel, guys, but why are your thumbnails like that? Like what? I don't know what you mean like that.
I appreciate you asking, but that's not the most helpful question.
Exactly.
But yeah, a bit more. Yeah, let us know what about them.
Feedback. Hit us up with the
Yeah.
feedback.
Yeah, man. Right, let's get into the previews for this weekend because this is
Yeah,
the most
boy.
important part of this podcast. We normally go like in order of games, but there were some boring games starting, so I've just gone basically in order of importance rather than in order of the games themselves. So we're going to start with Spurs versus Chelsea because that is the biggest game of the weekend. Obviously, Spurs are coming off that 3-0 drumming by the mighty Crystal Palace. They got absolutely dominated. Now, obviously, they were without quite a few of their main boys. Still had Harry Kane, who didn't have a single shot for the entire game and didn't have a touch inside our box. First time it's happened in his career. But they are still going to be without Son, apparently. Nuno said in his press conference that it would be premature of him to make a call on Son's fitness for the Chelsea game. So unless they're going to leave it straight right up till kick-off time to make a judgment call on it, or they're just going to basically, take another week without him, which I imagine the latter will probably be the case. Obviously, Dyer sustained an injury, and he's, again, a bit touch and go, not sure what's going on. Lo Celso, Sanchez, and Romero, who are obviously part of the Argentina team that got done with all the COVID stuff or whatever it was, they are still quarantining, I think, and they're back they're back in the UK on Saturday. There's only 24 hours before the game kicks off. So it's a bit, unsure
Would
whether
they
or
not
not
be? I thought they'd be quarantining in England.
Well, that's what I thought, but apparently, I think it was Croatia or something they're in.
Oh.
Yeah,
I think
I
Croatia
heard,
they've been a bit of a middle ground. They've been the middleman for a lot of sort of people coming in and out of England. I think a lot of people are having to go via Croatia due to the red list and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
yeah,
got
sorry, I
lack
just
of quarantine laws.
This sort of jokes comment from the Pringle Mar.
Yeah.
Newcastle 2 leads 7 this weekend. Joelinton hat-trick of own goals. I wouldn't be surprised, man. We'll come on to the Newcastle Leeds game, but Newcastle are in trouble. But yeah, obviously, Tanganga, obviously got sent off. He was out of his depth for playing against Crystal Palace. So it's probably best that Spurs don't have him for this Chelsea game. Because, if he can't handle Crystal Palace, what the hell is he going to be like against Chelsea? Do you know what I mean?
He was man of the match against City, though.
Yeah. City aren't as good as Palace, are they? So remember these things.
City are Tim.
Yeah, exactly.
Bristol City, yeah.
But Chelsea, on the other hand, apparently Kante will be back, which is good. Obviously, great news for Chelsea fans. But it's interesting now who who drops in, because Sal, I don't know about you guys, but Sal did not look good on his
No.
debut at Chelsea. Even though they got the win, he looked so out of depth and just was not up to speed basically.
Exactly.
But I've heard there's been some rumours flying around Twitter from the Chelsea insiders that Tuchel might look at starting two strikers, Lukaku and Werner up front, to obviously exploit the lack of defenders in the Spurs side, which I think could be quite an interesting thing. We haven't seen Werner and Lukaku playing off each other like that so far, starting the full.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think of this game?
I think, pretty sure Chelsea are going to absolutely do him in. Lukaku's just been on a mad one recently. Ever since he's come back to Chelsea, he's just scoring goals for like Champions League, Premier League. He absolutely loves it. He's on form at the moment. He'll be looking to continue that. With Spurs' sort of scrappy 1-0 wins and the 3-0 domination by Palace, I think Chelsea have got to just capitalise on that, basically. Obviously, I know they're away, but I think it'll still be a pretty convincing Chelsea win.
Chelsea could put like 4 past
I'd love that.
this Spurs team. If we put 3 past this Spurs team, Chelsea could definitely put 4 or 5, maybe even 6, depending on how mad it goes.
Yeah.
Harry, what do you think, my man? Do you think Spurs have got any chance of a result?
Absolutely, they got a chance. If they can keep their heads on defensively, obviously they didn't against Palace, but they had done in the 3 games prior to that. They've been facing a lot of shots, but they were getting the job done and stuff. But if they can keep fairly disciplined, sorry, I think they can make it quite hard for Chelsea attackers. But I do think Chelsea will win. I just think it'll be quite a tight game, maybe a 2-1 or a 1-0 or something.
Definitely.
Yeah. I was just going to read a quick question before we move on. Obviously, the Rap Kid
Yeah,
001.
yeah.
So, do you think sacking Mourinho was a good call for Spurs? Not if the person you're going to hire is Nuno Espirito Santo, because he just does what Mourinho does, but way worse than Mourinho. You have to remember, obviously, Mourinho got Spurs to a final.
Yeah.
And he wasn't doing that bad with them. Like, let's be honest with him, it wasn't going great. But they've been lucky to be where they are at this current point. Spurs, they have not been very good. They've been playing horrible football that I can't imagine any of the players want to play, especially Harry Kane, sitting that deep back and having to basically almost play how we played under Hodgson.
Yeah.
But just at a bigger team.
Definitely. We need to remember as well that basically the reason why Mourinho was sacked was because of the whole European Super League. It wasn't because he was doing awful or he was a terrible manager by any means. It was because of the European Super League.
Reported,
yeah. From what we know,
Certainly, the narrative Mourinho seems to want to push.
It could be a load of bollocks, but
could be. But from what we know, anyway.
But no,
Mourinho's been having a hell of a run for Roma right now, says the Rap Kid.
Yeah, of course. But then also with that, you have to take a pinch of salt. It's the Serie A.
Yeah.
Someone like Mourinho with money can go over there and probably win with any team. Well, not any team, but you know what I mean. It's far more wide open, especially with Inter Milan losing the players that they've lost.
Definitely.
But yeah, no, I think Chelsea are going to get the win here. I wouldn't be surprised if they put a good few goals past them, maybe like a 4-0 or something.
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if Spurs do get one. Harry
Just
Kane's definitely due a goal.
This is the thing, man. They lacked not at one point against us did I think we were going to lose that match. At half time, they had 0 shots.
Yeah.
Not even on target, just 0 shots. If they can't do that against, I just can't see if they can't even get a goal or a sniff of a chance on goal against us. I can't see how they're going to do it against Chelsea.
Yeah.
Especially if they haven't got Son still.
Yeah. Well, obviously they did it without Kane, but with Son against City at the beginning of the season. Obviously, I know it's different circumstances with Pep fielding quite an average team, really. I think he got humbled a bit in that game. He definitely thought it was going to be a bit of an easier game compared to what actually happened. So you never know.
Yeah,
could
no,
do it
absolutely.
again. Could get another scrappy 1-0 win against Chelsea, but they also could get absolutely dominated, which I do hope so.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
The Rap Kid has just said, well, Liverpool and Milan were on a level yesterday for me.
Is that? I guess that's towards my comments about you have to take it with a pinch of salt. The Serie A.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
That's fair enough, but you have to remember that's the Champions League, and this is it's very much. I put AC Milan in the same breath of Liverpool in the Champions League, where no matter what their form is in the Serie A, you don't want to play them in the Champions League. They have a different pedigree when it comes to European tournaments. Liverpool do. Liverpool are scary regardless what their team looks like if they're playing in the Champions League because they have that history, they have that thing about them. Do you know what I mean? And it's the same thing for Milan. It's why PSG aren't that way. They get beat in the Champions League because they've had that drought thing, whereas in the Liga they dominate it. Apart from last year, they got serial loser Pochettino, and now it's not going too well for him. But
you said he gets what you're saying.
Yeah, there's the Serie A and the Premier League are no way near each other, if we're going to be completely honest about it.
Yeah.
But so I think we're all going for a Chelsea win here, boys.
Yep.
Yeah.
As far as I know.
Yeah.
Right. The Lingard Cup, boys. The Lingardinho Cup. West Ham versus Manchester United. Talking about Lingard, he actually looks like he might start, even though despite his horrific bit of play on in the Champions League where he gifted young boys their winner. But yeah, I mean, do you guys think that he deserves to get a start this game? After I know obviously he's been okay, but doing what giving away a winner to young boys is quite a.
He's a bigger influence on Ronaldo's son than Ronaldo is. Have you seen pictures going around social media of Ronaldo's son doing the whole, whatever it is, the Jesse Lingard
thing? I think.
Yeah, that.
But
J Lings.
Pretty good logo, to be fair.
Yeah, but
I would. Sorry, go on. I'll let go.
No, yeah, I was just gonna say I think Jesse Lingard, it could go either way. He's very much he turns up one game and then he's just non-existent the next game. I would like to see him start because I think it would be quite a good thing for him to start against the team he was playing for last year, and also because he does want to stay at United. They are obviously a better team, and he wants to move forward with them. So hopefully he's not gonna. Hopefully he does get some game time. I don't want them to not play him just because West Ham want him, and he played there last year.
That's it. No, the thing is, I was really looking forward to this game, and then Michael Antonio got a red card last weekend, and now I just don't see a world in which West Ham get win this game. They've got no replacement for Antonio. I think the only thing they can do is maybe play one of Fornals, Benrahma, or Bowen through the middle, and that doesn't fill me with a great load of hope when coming up against Varane and Maguire, with Wan-Bissaka and Shaw coming back.
Bet they still wish they had Sebastian Haller after his performance. Was it last night? 4 goals or something,
Andy Carroll.
Yeah, Andy Carroll.
Yeah. I mean, do they even have a backup striker in the squad?
Not one that springs to mind.
I don't think so. Not like a senior player, I don't think.
Yeah. The Rap Kid has just said, do you guys think it will be a one-horse league again this year? I personally don't think it will be. I think it's closer this year than it has been any year for the last.
The top 4, like we were talking about earlier, that could be the best in the world. Your Cities, Chelsea, Man United, Liverpool. I think all of them could win it.
Yeah, definitely. I thought it was more going to be a 3-horse race. I didn't think Liverpool would be quite sort of there, but they seem to be at the moment. Obviously, still early doors, but they can definitely. Well, any of them can still win it. I think this is going to be the closest season we've had in a long, long time. I think we've mentioned this before, but the last time it went down to the last game of the season was when Aguero scored that goal and City won the league instead of United. There hasn't been an entertaining end to a season like that in ages.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think United, there's a potential that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer isn't their manager when the season finishes, and I think that is real. I think Conte he's spoken out saying that he would join Manchester United, and I think if things don't start to pick up for United quickly in terms of results like against young boys and that, I think there's real potential that maybe Conte comes in to Solskjaer. What do you guys think about that?
Well, similar to what happened to Lampard, isn't it? Their board was patient with him until they were like, "Yeah, you've done a great job building us, keeping us afloat. Now we spent all this money on you. We expect results." And
Yeah.
if he doesn't deliver that, then he will be gone.
That's true. That's true. But
The Rap Kid has just said though he thinks Chelsea, City, Liverpool are going to make it a great year. But he has also said, "All right, guys, I've got to get to work. Keep up the chatter." So, thank you very much
There you go,
for
my man.
joining us.
Thank you.
Saracens,
My Farah signs for you.
yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
No. So I just want to see off this, guys. Are we all in agreement? Do you think that it's going to be a United win here?
Yeah, I think so.
If Antonio's in this game, I really think this is going to be a crazy one. It will be really fun. But I just think with that, I think Antonio missing is just the worst thing that could have happened to West Ham
Definitely.
And my fantasy team.
and your fantasy team. Who are you playing?
Son and Antonio gone.
Oh, gee, it's a good time to play H if whoever's about.
I've got average,
think I might-
unfortunately.
Might be Charlie.
I've got Jacob, I think. But yeah, and we haven't been able to berate
I'll play
Mark
George.
about the fact that he's
Doing so
He is
unbelievably terribly.
he is lacking. His squad ain't very good. I was looking.
We did discuss it briefly on Tuesday's podcast, and obviously we did the update on the fantasy. But yeah, Mark's not having a good time, unfortunately.
It's not going
he
great.
did say, "Well, I do get priority pick in the transfers, though." I said, "Well, who are you going to get?" He went, "I'm not
No
going.
one.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you." I was like, "Well,
When
you
no
get priority
choice.
pick anyway."
Yeah.
But there isn't really there's no one new that's joined. It's not like like in the first couple of weeks where I managed to get Lukaku and Jacob's got Ronaldo.
Yeah. It's not like... January will be interesting
Yeah, January.
if anything happens. But right, Liverpool Palace, boys. I mean, Liverpool were going to be without Harvey Elliott and potentially Roberto Firmino, but I think regardless of that, I just hope that we play well, and I hope that we don't get fucked. But I do think we will lose this game, especially with the way we want to play now as well. Being more adventurous and being a bit more risky going forward will leave us more open at the back. And where Spurs couldn't do anything about it, Liverpool definitely will be able to. So yeah, I think Liverpool are going to win this one, boys. I don't have too much to say. This is not the game I'm concentrating on. I'm concentrating on the week after this when we've got Brighton at home. It's just a shame that the Spurs game couldn't lead into that Brighton game coming off that big bit of form for us, obviously. But you never know. Something mad could happen. We could get a result. You never know, boys. But I'm going to throw it over to you and what you guys sort of think in this one.
I think it just depends on whether or not Palace are able to go out there without any fear. But if they go in fearing Liverpool, then they're going to get battered. But if you go in just thinking, right, what happens, let's just see what we can do. Because Liverpool, they can be vulnerable to teams hitting them, like surprise attacks or.
Saw it last night.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like quick passing. If their defence is out of position, which it often is because of the way that Alexander-Arnold and Robertson going forward, it can be exploited. If people are positioned right and they know where each other are.
Yeah.
I guess if you see I think Olise will probably get a start, and I think Zaha will be on the left, and I think Edouard up front, and I think if we can catch him on a counter, those three on a counter with Conor Gallagher just behind. That could be we could cause a problem for him.
Yeah, Liverpool have shown, like Harry said, but last night and in previous games against, especially Palace, that they're not exactly the strongest team against Palace a lot of the time.
They beat us 7-0 last year.
Yeah, but we're not talking about last year.
Okay, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I think that you guys will be going into this game with a lot of confidence. I think Liverpool won't have as much confidence. Obviously, they did get the win last night, but it was a little bit of a scrappy win, all things considering. They did, as soon as they sort of went 1-0 up and they had the jump, Salah missed the penalty, things just went slowly sort of downhill for them, and it took them a long time to get back it, like build that back up again, build that pressure back up again against AC, and sort of put the level of performance that they were putting in at the beginning of the game. And I think you guys can really capitalise on that, especially with this this new sort of team that you've got. You've changed up a fair few players. You've got some decent players come in, decent manager. I think you guys could get a result. But Liverpool are that team that could easily, like you say, last season battered you 7-0. Like they are also that team that can do that. But Mane has not been very impressive recently. He did get a goal in the Leeds game the other day, but he easily could have got 4 or 5 beforehand. And they did play a fairly strong team last night, so
Yeah.
they might be a little bit sort of worse for wear. You never know.
They should cover.
Yeah.
Imagine. I was looking at something earlier on Twitter. I was just we were on Palace Twitter putting out some first teams, and I'd say a full fit Palace first team. I just want to run it through you guys quite quickly. I think it has the potential to be a top, pushing for that top 10, right? So you got obviously Gaeta in goal, then you got Mitchell, Anderson, Gay, and then Ward or Klein, whichever one you want to put, and then you've got MacArthur, Gallagher, Eze in that 3, and then you've got Zaha, Olasey, and Edouard. I think that if things go fall in place and stuff, I think that's an exciting team that can cause some problems. So hopefully,
I think the bottom half of the Prem is so tight and similar a lot of times ability-wise. Yeah, any one of them. Well, not anyone. Obviously, Norwich aren't going to do it, but any one of them could push on out of nowhere and.
I don't know if any one of them. I think you've got the shitter one. I think you've got like your Burnley, Newcastle, Norwich, and your Watfords. I just can't see them doing that kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially
Well,
Watford.
Burnley have had pushes before.
Yeah,
no. Where they were
now, it's all getting up. They've barely invested in the squad, and everyone's older. Do you know what I mean? But yeah,
if you get a run of games against other teams around you,
true.
Anyone can capitalise in that fine form. All of a sudden, they get one player and he's the missing ingredient.
Yeah.
You never know. I guess you never know.
That's true. But I think I'm going to be a bit optimistic here, and I'm going to say Palace are going to somehow squeak a draw. It's not very realistic, but I'm just going to back the boys. We're going to squeak a draw somehow. I don't know. Yeah. But thoughts, boys, I'm assuming you're both going Liverpool.
I'll go 3-0 Liverpool.
Yeah, I'll go Liverpool.
Sorry.
Yeah, they are Liverpool.
We got a better chance than we did last season, remember that.
3-1, Elise goal. I'll give you that.
Fair enough. Good boy. I like it. Right, Man City, Southampton. I haven't put many notes on this podcast, on this bit. I just basically put whatever squad Pep puts out will steamroll Southampton this weekend. And then I put, ask the boys who you think is 100% a starter for Man City. It's obviously quite a difficult... Because we know what this is about. I'd rather just pose a question, who for you guys, rather than talk about the game, who for you guys is 100% nailed on to start for City week in, week out?
What, Edison?
Everyone's fit at best 11. Yeah, definitely Edison.
Yeah. So, Edison.
Apart from the obvious. Edison, Scott Carson.
For sure.
Or Zach Steppen, or whatever the fuck that Don's name is in America.
Definitely Edison and De Bruyne, for sure. I would say Sterling as well. Should be starting.
You love a bit of Raheem, don't you?
Yeah.
You do love. We've got a big Raheem lover over here.
So should everyone.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, 100%.
Laporte and Diaz.
And Fernandinho.
Yeah, I think now Cancelo has nailed himself on there to be that right back.
Yeah, it's clear that Laporte and or Laporte, however you say his name, and Diaz are basically their strongest partnership in defence. I think obviously John Stones can sort of come in and out, but I think their best two options at the moment are Diaz and Laporte. They've been, I think, John Stones maybe played the first game, and Diaz and Laporte have started every game since. They're barely conceding, at all. So,
yeah, I think is Foden 100% a starter for you guys?
No, not for me yet.
I think where he's coming back from injury and where he's still quite young, I think they're going to want to maybe phase him in a little bit, give him minutes here and there, not chuck him straight back in a full 90 minutes every single week, especially on top of the Champions League stuff as well, when League Cup, FA Cup, whenever that's around as well.
What about Grealish? For me, he's 100%.
I think so, yeah.
Jesus?
Well, they've got no one else, have they?
Who?
He's actually had a really good start to this season, though.
To be fair.
As much shit as we give him, he's been good for my fantasy league so far.
I did try and get him in, but you poached him off me.
Yeah, man, sorry about that. But That's the pain in the ass. I mean, I'm not even trying to make any transfers this week, but because I'm top of the league, there's just no point. Anyone that I don't need anyone any transfers, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's hard to say, isn't it? Because we haven't even mentioned Bernardo Silva or Mahrez, and neither of them are nailed on. It's crazy, isn't it? Mahrez is not a nailed on starter for the team that he's playing on.
Yeah.
Well, he's definitely better than Bernardo Silva, but
Yeah, 100%.
obviously got with the options like Ferran Torres and Phil Foden and stuff. I wouldn't say any of them are nailed on starter because you can drop and change them depending on who you're playing.
Before we move on, I just want to quickly ask: do you think, like, because obviously they didn't get Harry Kane, so they still don't have like an out-and-out striker, and their failure to address another option, is that confidence or stupidity from Man City to be like
arrogance?
Yeah, or just I mean, because arrogance can sort of be in a way positive, but I just mean stupidity in terms of like not going for that backup because they want to win the Champions League and that kind of thing, and it was really the striker that was their problem that didn't get them over the hump.
The Pringlemar has said Torres over Jesus, Fernan Torres.
Oh, that's not a bad shout, to be fair.
Yeah, not bad.
Hector Guerrero, he would have been quite happy to stay.
Yeah,
well, especially now he's not playing with Messi, but
it's weird that they didn't go out and get a Danny Ings or something. Something like that. It's someone cheap that they could have just stuck in there, like after Kane. Oh, I don't know. They were chasing Kane for a while, but you know.
Yeah, you had all this Pep stuff saying, "Oh, we don't have a out-and-out striker." Last year, like, "Oh, we don't have a striker. We're struggling for a striker." And then he's leaving Aguero on the bench every week.
He was injured for quite a lot of last season, I think.
Even when he was fit, he didn't start the Champions League final.
Yeah. Well, he'd only just come back from injury. That was meant to be his last game.
If you know he's leaving, you start him in the Champions League final.
Yeah, I think that was meant to be his last ever game for City, but he didn't end up starting in the end. But I think City don't want to unnecessarily. I know they've got basically bottomless pockets anyway, but I don't think they really wanted to spend sort of waste a bit of money on someone like a Danny Ings or whatever when they could have literally just we'll wait till next summer, get Harry Kane next summer, get Haaland next summer. Like that's when you spend money there.
Rennes are beating Spurs.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
But none of the problem with that for City that none of those strikers are rapists. They don't meet their scouts. The only available one was Ched Evans, but Preston didn't want to let him go. So.
Yeah. I heard they were really after
a legend.
They were really after Sigurdsson, but the HMP wanted too much of they asked too much money.
HMP FC.
Yeah.
But they've got a number of star players. They've recently we've now got another one. What's his name? I've just been fined $1.5 mil for abusing his girlfriend or whatever.
Danny
Let's just move on though. We don't need to. Let's just move on. We're not talking about all this shit. Burnley Arsenal. Right. Burnley Arsenal boys. Yeah. Ollie.
Up the Arsenal.
You got a win. It wasn't confident win in the world against Norwich.
No.
You look better though.
A lot better.
So yeah. I think this is going to be a tough one, though, man. Burnley away.
I don't know. Well, I said I don't know. It probably will be. No, in Arsenal. Burnley play very defensively. They always have under Sean Dyche. But at the same time, they've not been able to do much with their team over the last couple of seasons, where they've just had no money to play with. Apparently, it's 2-2 now. Apparently, it's 2-2 in the Rennes and Spurs game. But yeah, I think with if we start the same team that we played last week against Norwich, then I think we should come out with a lot more confidence. We should be able to put a couple of goals behind them. Well, one hopefully, at least one. But this is where I think that our newer backline, or hopefully a stronger backline that we've now got with Gabriel, Ben White, Tomiyasu, and Kieran Tierney. I think that was we were so much more solid in the back. I think hopefully Burnley will have a bit of a struggle to put anything past us. But then again, this is Arsenal, and we could field Rob Holding and Pablo Mari for the sake of it.
I saw Holding's definitely not going to play. He's picked
Thank
up a knock.
God.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think you should overlook Burnley because they gave Liverpool problems, and obviously they couldn't. Liverpool in the end, their quality shone through. But that's not Arsenal right now. They don't have that. They ain't got that Liverpool quality that can, get them through games like that. I just think if Chris Wood and Ashley Barnes really attack White and Gabriel, that could be a problem, man.
Yeah.
Because I back Chris Wood to physically beat White and Gabriel. He's a bigger, he can throw his weight about that.
Not so much about Gabriel, I don't think, because Gabriel's pretty solid, but definitely Ben White. Ben White's obviously more petite.
That's fair enough. But I do. And I think Ashley Barnes could be. I think Dwight McNeil could be quite. He could be quite. Maxwell Cornet now. That left-hand side is going to be a bit mad. It could be interesting.
Like Aaron Lennon and stuff.
Yeah, I think.
He still plays football.
Yeah.
I know. Still in the Premier League.
I don't know. I'm gonna back Burnley. I think Burnley could get a free. I don't think they're gonna win, but I think they could get something out of this game, and I might. I just don't see Arsenal getting the win here. I don't know why. I just think what Burnley are gonna be. They just feel like an Arsenal kryptonite at the moment, being that physical, get under their skin, that kind of thing. Like, I think Sean Dyche versus Arteta. I think tactically Dyche could outdo him. But yeah, I think it's going to be a hell of a game, though. I actually really hope I can watch it because I think it's going to be a great game. Harry, what do you reckon, man?
And 2-1 Burnley, my friend.
Yeah.
The Arsenal hate on this podcast is unbelievable.
We don't hate Arsenal. I love Saka. I just think we backed you boys last week to get the win, and you did. But I just think Burnley is a different. I don't know. It's just different. Something about Burnley, man.
If this game had happened before the Norwich game, you'd say Arsenal were going to lose too.
That's true.
Oh, well,
yeah,
if
definitely true. Yeah.
Oh, no, don't get me wrong. I don't think that we're going to trample on Burnley at all. We definitely could still lose against Burnley, but I'm trying to look on the more positive side of things because it's been a long time since I've been able to do that.
You don't sound like an Arsenal fan.
Huh? I don't sound like an Arsenal fan.
You're not speaking like an Arsenal fan.
Well, I'm not
looking on the positive side.
Yeah, no. It's tough, mate. It's tough. It's been a long season so far. a long season.
It's felt like 30 games already.
Exactly.
Got a bit of summer break soon, right?
Yeah, hopefully. Well, it's just not too long before another international break, so it's fine.
Right. Yeah. So, and obviously, Ollie, you're back with your boys, but yeah, I think it's been an interesting game. I think it's gonna be an interesting game for sure. Could be quite a funny one. Right, Brighton Leicester. Man. I think obviously Brighton have had a decent start, but I put down. I didn't realise who they've beaten. Obviously, they've played Burnley, Watford, Everton, and Brentford, and they've beaten Burnley, Watford, and Brentford. The teams that you think, okay, they should get wins there. They could definitely get wins there. And they lost to Everton, which is like, okay, fair enough. They probably should have lost that game. That makes sense, right? So I guess they are just who we think they are. I don't think just because they've had a nice run so far, I don't think we should blow them out of proportion. Obviously, they still look a bit inept in front of goal, to be honest. And Leicester have had a weird, shaky one. One question I want to pose to you guys: since Vardy hasn't really done much so far, is it time to maybe put in a Daka or Iheanacho, who can offer something a bit different?
Yeah, I think we sort of half mentioned this a week or two ago, but I definitely think that they should. Well, it's definitely got to be in the back of their mind right now that the Vardy era is coming to an end, and it's pretty clear from sort of his performances as well that his era is probably coming to an end as well. I hope that he does pick his form up a bit, but I do think they should be looking towards the future a bit and give these guys who are going to be his replacement or currently going to be his replacement a run for their money and give them some more minutes under their belt.
I'm not even 100% sure Daka's even played yet.
No idea.
I think he played. I think he played in the Community Shield at least.
Yeah, so I meant like Premier League.
Right. Okay.
But I don't know. I think Leicester have got to be getting the win here, man. They've got to show us that they're still this, Leicester. They're still the Leicester that we know now. It's not been that way so far this season. I don't really think they've looked pretty mediocre. I'd say. Obviously, they've got big injury problems. We can't, I think it's been for a couple seasons now they've had injury problems though. I don't know if there's something in the water in Leicester or like maybe the physios or the training is just whatever, but they're getting some serious injuries.
Oh, they've just announced their.
Nobody packs at Christmas.
That's it, yeah, all the Walkers. They've just announced their new training facility, and it looks nice, very nice. It's a really
Best time in their first game there though. Did you see?
no.
Palace under 23s beat Leicester under 23 6-1 on the unveiling night of their new training ground with fans there watching and everything.
Yeah.
So it's just love to see it, don't you? It's fucking hilarious.
We've had another message in the chat by the way with the rap kid. He's back. Did you guys see the Reece James Champions League medal stolen news? Yes, we did.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Horrible. Man.
Shame it wasn't
Horrible.
Ryan Brewster, but oh well.
Yeah, it's a shame, man. That's horrible. That you don't want that.
He should be able
happen
to get it replaced. UEFA will sort him out.
I'm sure they will, and I mean, I don't know. It's something like it's a bit. I don't know because I'm assuming the guy that stole it is just going to keep it because if you're selling that, it's a pretty stupid thing to go and sell on.
Yeah.
It's pretty obvious
That's
what
true.
it is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
It's like selling the Mona Lisa.
yeah.
Oh no, you
hopefully-
could probably fence it. Like
Yeah, true. You
some
probably
some rich person will buy it below the board.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I'd buy it.
We don't condone this on the podcast. We do not
Yeah.
condone this kind of criminal activity.
No. Of
Never
course.
us.
It's not us. But all right, boys. I'm sorry, I've got to do this. So we're all going to go for a Leicester win. I think that's pretty the
Yeah,
consensus.
I'll back it.
I think.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I've got to do this to you, boys, but we're getting into some shit games now. Newcastle versus Leeds. All right. So
Leeds next.
yeah, basically Leeds. I don't
Jolinton's
know.
awful.
They're already annoying me because I like Joe Willock, and they're now rushing him back from injury to get him into this team for the Leeds game, and I think that is so
It's
stupid.
exactly how you ruin a young player's career.
Yeah, exactly, and it's just true. They've still got their third choice keeper, Fred. Is it Freddie Woodman?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel for him because he's been thrown in the deep end, but he is just not good, or not good enough for the Premier League anyway. He's made some mistakes so far this season, and I just don't see a world in which Newcastle stay up. I just can't see it.
No.
Steve Bruce just isn't the manager to do it for him, I don't think, and they can't rely on Callum Wilson to stay fit.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, he's already had a couple of knocks. Well, he's been injured twice so far this season already, hasn't he?
I think just the once so far this season, but he had that really long injury last season.
Oh right. But yeah, they've been praying that Callum Wilson's back like ASAP because Jolinton was just nowhere in that last game. We've seen
So
I
from
can't believe they're still sticking with him,
no, of course not.
even
but
with the injuries. Like
40 million they paid for him.
is he their record signing, or is that Almiron?
Must be his record signing.
I think.
Up
Yeah.
until recently, it was still Michael Owen, wasn't it?
Bloody hell. I know. I think it's either Jolinton or Almiron. I think that they're record signings, but yeah, either way, both trash.
Yeah.
I don't
Almiron's
mind
such a-
Almiron. He does look really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luke Shaw made him look like a school child the other day.
It's Jolinton 40 million, and then Joe Willock in second with 26, and then it's Michael Owen in third with 22, and then Almiron in fourth with 21.
Oh.
Jesus Christ, Alan Shearer is still their sixth most expensive transfer of all time, and that was in 96, 97.
Yeah.
They're such a joke. I'm sorry Newcastle fans if you're watching, but you like, I know it's not your fault. It's that absolute joke of an owner you've got in Mike Ashley.
Yeah.
But my lord, you guys are tin pot. I'm sorry.
The Pringle Mar has
Jesus.
The Pringle Mars just said Jolinton is the record signing. Would rather have Bruce up front. Don't blame me. Don't blame you at all. Alan Shearer on Match of the Day the other day said, Gary Lineker asked Alan Shearer how he feels about his club, and he just said they're a shell of a club. They're not what they used to be, and they won't be for a long time, while the people that are at the top of that club are still there, or basically Mike Ashley.
I really don't get what Mike Ashley's doing.
He's not getting anything out of having
He can't
owning
sell
them at
He's
the moment.
only
No,
going to take a loss if he sells them now.
no,
And if they get relegated, he's really fucked.
very much so.
So I don't know what he's doing. He's just, I don't know. I think he's a crazy person.
It'll be
He's like a joke. He just wants to see Newcastle burn.
they'll get relegated for next season, and then Dwight Gale will come back into the starting 11 and dominate the championship again or something.
Mate,
That's what he
I don't know why he's not playing now. He's far better than Joe Linton.
Yeah.
I know, isn't it? It's crazy, man. I'd rather have Callum Wilson on one leg than Joel Linton. But right, Leeds. Obviously, they're coming off their 3-0 loss to Liverpool. Obviously, the biggest thing about that was Pascal Struijk's red card. We haven't really spoken about this. Obviously, it was a horrible injury. Let's say it wasn't a nice injury, but the tackle itself was actually a fine, a good tackle.
It was an accident. Yeah.
Just an unfortunate series of events. Obviously, we now know that Harvey Elliott seems to say away. Obviously, we've seen his various posts on Instagram and social media about it. Obviously, they lost their appeal for the red card, which is harsh, man. It's harsh. It's
Definitely.
like, it's almost like, where do we? What is there now? Lines being blurred. Like, should it be, even if you get the ball, but then you cause an injury, should it still be a foul?
This is the thing. You should. It would be like, you shouldn't what's the word? Like, penalise, that's the word. You shouldn't penalise a player for the consequences, of sort of what's happened. You should be penalised for what happened, if you see what I mean. So not the aftermath, not the fact that he dislocated his ankle or whatever. The tackle, it would have been a foul anyway, but at the same time it wasn't red card worthy. It was only because he's dislocated his ankle that made it, or that they've made it a red card. You can't really you can't penalise someone for the consequences after the incident's really happened, I don't think.
If it was a foul anyway.
Yeah, but it wasn't a red card.
It's an illegal tackle. But that's what I'm saying, because it's a foul anyway. If it wasn't like it wasn't a foul.
Oh no, of course it was a foul.
And then it was just but that's what I'm saying. Like, that's not what I mean. Sorry, I mean in terms of like when it's a legal tackle that would go into that, because that you can almost argue that kind of thing, but it's difficult when it is already a foul, right? Like, it's a foul.
Yeah, but there's
and then an injury's come of it because it's already a foul. It's already an illegal tackle. Then I guess the red card is almost.
But you don't get red cards for every foul. You only get red cards for fouls that are worthy of that, that are extreme sort of circumstances.
But then the injury that's come out of this is an extreme injury and a potentially career-ending injury, depending on what happens.
This is what I mean, though. You shouldn't be penalised for. Well, I don't think you should be penalised for sort of the consequences that happened afterwards.
But it wasn't.
If it's caused by the actual tackle itself, then
which it was.
Shit. No,
yeah,
but from what like doctors and Harvey Elliott and stuff, they've all been playing. It was his landing as opposed to impact. Connection from impact injury from strike.
Yeah, I get that, because it's just weird because I know the whole consequence, but like I think it is if you foul them and it's a foul, and they've done their ankle, and then it is. Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, that is a consequence of the foul that you've done. So then, therefore, it's a red card.
Yeah.
But I've seen a lot of people, both non-fans of Liverpool and fans of Liverpool, say they didn't even think it was a foul.
Yeah, it's a real weird.
It split people 50-50. I think there's not really that many people that were like sort of on the fence. It's either it wasn't a foul or it was. Like, there's not really been able to say that many people on the fence or whatever. But we have had a couple of messages from the Pringlemar, I believe, talking about Newcastle still. He wants to get them relegated so that the Saudis can take over. The Prem rejected the Saudis, but the EFL probably won't.
The EFL ownership test is a pile of shit. They'd take anyone. And then they punish the club for taking that owner when they didn't do the work, finding out whether that owner was good or not. Fuck the EFL.
Yeah, that was the whole Derby thing, wasn't it? Oh no, it wasn't. Was that Derby? It was Derby, wasn't it?
Derby. It's happened to Derby. It's happened to us. It's happened to Sheffield Wednesday. It's happened to Wigan.
That's nuts. So I think Leeds are going to go and run away with this, and I'm sure they'll get the win. I can't see Newcastle doing too much.
No.
Even though Leeds look weird, but oh well. Villa versus Everton. Obviously, we still don't know about Calvert-Lewin, if he's going to play or not, and I think that is a big factor on whether or not Everton will definitely win. I don't know, and obviously Villa should have Martinez and Buendia back, so this is a tight one. I can see this has got draw written all over it for me. I'm just interested in what you guys have to think about it.
I don't know. Rafa's been doing quite well at Everton. He started off quite strong with them. Villa haven't looked very impressive, well, as impressive without Jack Grealish. I think Everton could win.
Yeah, it could go either way. I mean, Everton have been good at grinding out scrappy goals, but without Calvert-Lewin, maybe they'll find that harder.
Yeah.
But like with Villa, we've seen multiple different Villas already this season, so it all depends on which one turns up.
Yeah. Well, with Townsend's banging in goals like he was last week,
Yeah,
that was such
absolutely.
a lovely goal. Yeah. But even Damari Gray doing well. You wouldn't think that
I'm glad for that.
the 1.5 mil that they spent on 3 players at the beginning of the window, and 2 out of the 3 are scoring goals and doing quite well, and the other one was a goalkeeper. So
Yeah, so I don't know. This is such a. I couldn't give a shit about this game. It's just one of them, innit? Like, I just don't care. Like, whatever happens, happens. It'd be interesting. If Buendia's playing, I hope he gets a goal because I've got him in my fantasy league. Right now, the last game, Wolves Brentford, Wolves Brentford and Norwich versus Watford. I didn't even write anything for these games. I was just like, I just couldn't be bothered. It was towards the end of it. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I think Wolves are going to beat Brentford. I think they've actually been quite impressive. They played nice football. They've just really lacked the goals. I think is basically what is the only talking point around Wolves right now. Is that they just need to get a goal. And I think once Jimenez gets his ball rolling, I think he'll start scoring. He'll be putting them away. Traore is coming into his prime, I think.
yeah.
But yeah, do you guys think anything differently, or do you think agree Wolves are going to get this job done?
I think Wolves probably will. They've looked better. That new signing of theirs, Trincao, is doing really well at the moment. He played really well last week, popping in balls left, right, and centre. Obviously, I know it's not the popping in balls that they're struggling with at the moment. It's the actual finishing. But hopefully they'll come away from that last game with a lot more confidence, and they'll really bring it to Brentford.
Yeah, it's a good time for Wolves to be playing Brentford, but I think it is also a good time for Brentford to play Wolves. Try and see if they can get themselves back on track with Wolves, who, although they've played a lot of good football, they haven't been the team that they were under Santa a couple of years ago, where they would go out and dominate games. They are vulnerable, and I think it could end up being a good game for Brentford to get themselves back on track.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, well, yeah, that's the thing with Ivan Toney. You just can't count him out because he's such a good player, and he nearly got that amazing halfway goal. It was a great effort, and he's got instincts like that. He could score from anywhere, man. So it is one of them. You can't count Brentford out. I'm finding it really difficult. So I know we've only got like a little bit, we've only got like a small pool of games to go from, but I'm finding it hard to place my finger on Brentford right now. I don't know what they are.
I've mentioned this a couple of times. I think Brentford are this year's Leeds. Leeds were very 50-50 last year. They'd be banging it one week and then absolutely just getting destroyed the next week. And I think Brentford are very much just going to be on the similar sort of basis this year. Just, one game they're looking really good. The next game they're just looking a bit shy.
And now, actually, the worst game of the whole weekend, and something that this time last year, if they were both in the Premier League, they would have been you would have been charged £15 to watch it. This is Norwich versus Watford. I don't even think Norwich and Watford fans would pay £15 to watch this game.
And that's £15 to actually attend, let alone watch it on TV.
Well, yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, boys, What do you want to? What do you want to? What do you want to do? I mean,
0-0, I think. Neither of them are going to score. They're both going to be
I hope
shit.
Norwich win because I don't like Watford. Basically, is where I'm going to go with this.
I'll go 1-0. I'll go 1-0.
1-0. I mean, it's just boring, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right. I'll quickly let's do the fantasy, and then we've got to go.
We've already done fantasy. Did it in the last podcast.
Did we do it? Oh, did you do it in the last?
Yeah, you
Sorry.
were there. Me and the only thing that we haven't done is the team ratings, which we can either quickly do now, if Harry's got the time, because I know he said he had to shoot off.
Do not.
No,
I'm
fair
afraid.
enough. That's fine. Well, yeah, we can
Feel free to bounce without me.
No, we can do it on next Tuesday's podcast. We'll just do a double team rating.
We'll double it up. Yeah. Yes. Sweet. All right. Cool. Well, I will do a quick outro for us then. All right. Thanks everyone for watching. I've been Alfie. Ollie's been Ollie. Harry's been Harry, and we have been the Footy Fetish podcast. Yeah. Thanks. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow. Hit notification bell. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Twitch. Anything and everything, give us a follow, please. We really appreciate it, and we love you all. Mo Farah signs all round. Thanks for joining me, boys, and I will see you again soon. Bye.
Bye.